Okay. Another transition for our football team as we now officially transition into game week and our game week preparation. Like we spoke about when training camp began, this will tell us a little bit more about the maturity, the growth, and development of our leadership on his football team. You know, the mental effort, the mental intensity that it takes to prepare, but also your body, the sleep, the nutrition, the hydration that it takes to play winning football and really get your mind ready to go. But on top of that, the blocking and tackling for a full game. That's, a whole nother point where you got to condition your mind and the mental conditioning part of it, of a full game of blocking and tackling and executing and playing with a very high level of intensity. As we all know, first game is the game of unknowns. Expect the unexpected. And there's so many things when I talk about what constitutes the game of unknowns, not just from statistics, in tendencies from your opponent, but from ourselves as well. And it's the first time that our team will truly take the game as Team 119. And how do we respond? How do we respond to playing in a different environment? All those things that are associated with that. Is terms of freshmen, we could play upwards to about the amount of 22 true freshmen could play Saturday afternoon. If you look at last year's team, we had 21 play in the home opener, and I believe 23 overall. So arguably, this football team, Team 119, could be younger than Team 118. So again, it's the game of the unknowns of how are these individuals going to react when the spotlight goes on and you're playing for real now. And there's a score on the scoreboard, and everything's about winning the football game. In terms of our opponent, Bowling Green, Coach Babers has done a very, very good job there. I've known him for a while, and they present many challenges. First of all, their football team, their football program knows how to win. They've had numerous years of 8 wins or more. They've won championships. They've played in big venues. They're a veteran group. I think that's illustrated by 125 combined starts in their offensive line, which I believe is second most in the country. And for us, to give an example where we stack up, our offensive line will be in the mid-30s. So there's a little bit different there from overall experience. Very, very good skill players, very, very dangerous, have the ability to make explosive plays, big splash plays. In any point in time on the football field, they do a great job of getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers, coupled with with the veteran offensive line and a very, very good quarterback that returns. He's an NFL quarterback, so again, it's going to be a great challenge for us. Them defensively, get after it. Very blitz-oriented, different coverage schemes, new defensive coordinator. So, getting into a rhythm, the flow of the game, and really the first couple series are going to be critical for us. Also, again, with the 22 true freshmen playing, obviously special teams become a factor. And they have explosive playmakers on special teams in the return game. And that's going to be critical that we continue to elevate our play in special teams. Every player in his football program understanding their role, that when they get on the bus to go over to Nashville, everyone has a concrete job description and being able to execute their assignment. I know our players are looking forward to playing in Nissan Stadium and playing in Nashville. We need a home field advantage, and Vol Nation has been outstanding. When we've asked them to respond, they've responded. When we've asked them to come and fill Neyland Stadium and have 40,000 plus for an open practice, they've responded. We need Vol Nation to respond to make this a home field advantage. We need to sell this football game out. And Team 119 is calling on our fans to do this, because when you take a home venue, when you take a home game off your campus, one of the things as your football team that's critical in college football is the home field advantage. And with their up-tempo offense, I believe they are third in the country in seconds per play last year, and they want to be faster. All that is a contributing factor, and that's what creates home field advantage. So we need to create a home field advantage in Nashville. We have 16 players from the mid-state, 14 from Nashville. So I know they're looking forward to going back home and be able to compete in that great NFL venue. So again, it starts with a great week of preparation starting today and getting game ready by Saturday. So I'll answer any questions you may have.
Butch, you've been on the other side of this, having coached at
Yep.
Central Michigan. Just your take on how Bowling Green might be motivated and how much this game will mean to them.
Well, it means a lot to them, just like it means to us. But, we do have that experience factors, so to say, being at Central Michigan. And our last year at Central Michigan, we had a 2-game winning streak versus the Big Ten. We beat a top 25 opponent in Michigan State on the road. We had 11 players on that football team that have played in the National Football League, and our players knew how to win, and they expected to win, and I expect the same thing from Bowling Green. They have NFL football players on that team. A lot of those individuals we recruited when we were at Cincinnati, and one of them is Ronnie Moore, who I think is a dynamic football player. I can talk all day about their skill positions. Their skill positions are very dynamic, and that's not coach speak. All you have to do is look at the video and you see it. They're very, very skilled, and they know how to win, and they expect to win. So it's going to be a great challenge for us right out of the blocks, and we have to make sure that we're ready to play our best collective football game to date.
Second straight year you've opened with basically a veteran quarterback who's missed most of the past year with injury. How tough is it to kind of prepare in those situations, particularly in this case, but he really hasn't operated this offense?
Well, but he was there. He was available for all of spring when Coach Babers came in to the program. So he has that experience, and all you have to do is just, you look at him, you watch him on video from years past, and he has a quick release, a very strong arm. But from what I gather, very, very intelligent, puts them in the right place, and truly understands the offense. And sometimes when you miss a year for injury and you kind of go into coach mode, a lot of times that can be beneficial to the development of a player. As you start thinking more in terms of a coach, you have more time to really study the nuances and ins and outs of the offense. So a lot of times that can be of great value, and I think that will be.
We saw one at the Tech Slayer Bowl. Is there a game plan for a ball walk for going into Nissan State?
As of right now, yes. All indications are that there will be a ball walk. Yeah, Vincent Perry will be out for the season, so that's a season-ending injury, and the surgery went very, very well. So again, now it's him studying on really focusing on being a student athlete, studies, getting stronger in the weight room. Jason Kroom, his surgery went well. That there's no time frame. It could be 3 weeks. It could be up to 5 weeks. Just kind of how his body heals. But so both surgeries went very well.
Which I know you say not to make too much out of preseason depth charts, but I'm going to ask.
Then don't ask. Go ahead.
Up front on the offensive line, what did Dylan Wiseman do to go from missing some practices a couple of weeks ago to wedging himself into potentially starting, and then
Yeah.
how fluid is that situation?
It's very fluid, and thanks for asking the depth chart. You were just the first person to ask. So, but first of all, Dylan Wiseman's done a very good job. Just a high level of consistency. He's done a really good job of improving his feet, his hand punch, his body position, but really playing with his eyes. And it's become very, very instinctual to him from passing off twist. He's really improved his pad level and his leverage. So he's really, really improved his game and been very, very proud of him. In terms of an overall depth chart is, again, we don't really have depth charts in our football program. They're organizational charts. The way I look at it is we're trying to find a starting 8, a starting 9, a starting 10. And all a depth chart is who takes the field first. We'll continue to compete at that position just like every other position. But our offensive line has really worked hard. They've made great progress, tremendous strides in moving forward. And it's a great situation that we have right now, that we still have individuals battling it out, and they'll continue to battle it out. But, I look at us having 8, 9 starters. It's just like the middle linebacker spot. Colton Jumper may be out there for the first snap, but Darren Kirkland's going to play. Kenny Bynum's going to play. And that's kind of the mindset of our football program. When we talk about power of the position, it's every position group being as strong as they can be. And if we have 9 strong, we'll win a lot of football games. But we can't be 7 for 9. We can't be 6 for 9. We need to be 9 for 9. And then that carries over to special teams. But the offensive line will continue to move some people around, but we'll also work more towards continuity and the individuals working together. But we're not in any place right now to say these are our starting 5, because we have too many kids that have worked really, really hard to put themselves into that conversation piece.
What do you want to see like Bullware or Jack Jones or some of those guys?
Yeah.
Moving forward?
Constant growth and development, especially when you're true freshmen like them. Drew Richmond as well. Just the constant growth. Chance Hall, just continuing to improve each and every day. And that's the thing is, once the season starts, the depth chart doesn't end. You know, for those individuals that you just mentioned, John, they just need to continue to grow and develop and develop and develop. And who knows, by game 2, even the end of this week, game 4, game 5, maybe they're ready to play. Maybe they're more game ready because you learn through reps in practice. So I've been very encouraged with all that group. He's worked very, very hard. I think him being in our program now, understanding the standard, the expectations, the strength and conditioning program, the knowledge of the defensive system, I think has really aided and benefited him.
Probably surprised a lot of people think he's a walk-on. Is he a surprise at all to you and your staff?
No, he's one of those individuals that has always worked hard, doesn't really say 2 words, just takes coaching and works very hard at everything that he does. And he did have a skill set in terms of speed, athleticism, and toughness.
What has TK's response been with Aaron McNeil out?
Just like all of them, it's an opportunity for them to step out, step up right now. And, unfortunately, when somebody goes down, it's another individual's opportunity. And now they start gaining more valuable repetitions. Who will gain in those repetitions today is Stephen Griffin. So we're going to have Stephen back in practice today, which will be great. He was in here all weekend working on his conditioning, and he's been cleared, ready to play. So having him back, not just from a safety depth standpoint, but also in the terms of special teams will be big for us as well. But TK is one of those individuals that will do anything and everything for the team.
With Darryl, you said an extended period of time the other day. Isn't there any chance he could play this year?
It's too early. I would say a slight chance, but I would be remiss if I said completely out and then all of a sudden something happened. But is it a long shot? Yes. And everything about him is getting his health back and, and doing the proper things that it takes to have life beyond football. And then if ever he wanted to pursue a dream at the next level as well.
Butch, when injuries like this kind of pile up, do you just chalk it up to bad luck and move on, or do you kind of maybe second guess some of the things that you're doing?
Never second guess. And I think if you look at, we always evaluate, but when you look at the circumstances, Ladero McNeil had nothing to do with practice. So, that arises. Marcus Jackson was just punching in a offensive line one-on-one drill. That's part of football. They're very, very unfortunate. Vincent Perry's he's planting on the turf with nobody even around him. Marquez North missed extended time by planting on the grass and running a route, and his knee goes out, and he's back to full strength. He's 100%, which will really, really help us. So you try to look at, just like everything we do in the evaluation of the injuries, when did they occur in practice? When did they occur and what practice number in terms of training camp? Were their bodies fatigued? Was it a contact? Was it a non-contact? Jason Crooms was from the pre-existing surgery that before. So when you look at everything, that's the nuances. And I think Mike wrote an article the other day talking about injuries, and I think you found through your research, it's the world that we live in. It's college football, and it's very, very unfortunate. But it's a contact sport, it's a physical sport, and that's all part of the game. Injuries are a part of it, and that's why the teams that win championships, a lot of times health plays a big factor in that.
Butch, you call this the season overall as a game of unknowns. What are you most curious about
discipline, the small details of what it takes to play winning football, your style of play, playing a clean game. You worry about pre-snap penalties. You worry about turnovers. You worry about tackling. Like I talked about, this will be the first full game of blocking and tackling, being able to sustain blocks, how your young players are going to perform, your special teams. So just about anything and everything, because you don't know. And after Saturday night, I'll have a little bit of a gauge of where we're at with this football team. But usually it takes a good solid 2 to 3 games to really know exactly where your football team is when you play others. But in the first game, you worry about all the game management. You look at the Montana North Dakota State game, and all you have to do is watch the final 2 minutes of that game and all the clock management situations that went into that. All the things that you practice in training camp. Now you have to be able to perform them when there's a little bit of stress involved in game situations. So all those in-game management issues as well.
On the flip side, what do you feel confident about? What do you not have concerns about?
I like the mentality of this football team. I've liked their attitude. I've liked their work ethic. We have a lot of individuals that have proven themselves in big games, that have stepped up, that have played in those games before. So that's a little bit of a comfort. I know how Jalen Hurd's going to show up. I know how Derek Barnett and Kurt Maggitt and Jalen Reeves-Maben are going to show up. Those individuals have proven it. Brian Randolph, they've proven it over time. Josh Dobbs, they have proven it. So, again, there's some comfort level there. In this team, like we had Derek Barnett stand up last night and speak about the transition that he learned from his first year in playing college football and the preparation. We had Josh Malone talk about his transition from high school to playing as a true freshman. And both were very eloquent. Both of them really kind of hit home to the true freshmen of everything that they're going through. Because remember, I talked about this, there's 4 phases to football: offense, defense, special teams, and football life. And a lot of times that's what gets individuals, is the speed of football life. Not the speed of the game, but the speed of being outside here, the clutter, the distractions, the time management, the practice etiquette, preparing your body, all those things. That's usually what young players and immature teams suffer with.
Which do you think Preston Williams will play in the
I do. I fully anticipate Preston Williams playing in the game. He's an individual who came in over the weekend and really worked on his conditioning. Now, to what extent role will he have in the game? That'll be determined and dictated by his week of practice. But on Monday, I fully anticipate him playing in the game come Saturday.
Butch, do you feel like this is your first time at Tennessee starting the season with a quarterback that's a perfect fit for your system? Instead of having Josh come in October?
Well, there's less of unknowns having Josh, and Josh understands everything that we're trying to accomplish. He understands the in-season routine. He understands, just like I talked about, the temperament of getting yourself ready to play through a full week of preparation. And Quentin Dormady has done a very, very good job as well. And so those two have kind of fed off of each other. But it is great going into a game knowing that he's been through it. He understands it, yes.
Butch, you mentioned the ball walk in Nashville. How can fans find out about how you do that? And also, what are your thoughts about playing in Nashville?
Yeah.
Opposed to
Well, we're excited about playing in Nashville for many reasons. First of all, when you look at our recruiting success, it stems in the state of Tennessee first and foremost. You look at both of our freshman All-Americans are from Nashville, and Ja'Shawn Robertson and Derek Barnett. And then you look at all the individuals. Jalen had an opportunity to go home and have his high school jersey retired this weekend. Nashville and the entire state of Tennessee is critical for us getting Tennessee football back. And it's not recruiting talk. It is for a young man in state to stay at home and play for his state institution. That has ramifications that last forever. for his family, everything. Once evolve, always evolve, evolve for life. So to be able to go to Nissan Stadium is very big for us. It's an opportunity to reward our great fan base in Middle Tennessee. That's why selling the game out. That's why getting people in the stands is absolutely critical in creating that home field advantage. So we are really looking forward to Nashville. So that's very big for us, and I know our players will handle it very well.
Coach, you guys had Kathy Rittman-Brown in on Friday. What led to the decision to bring her in initially, and what
Yep.
about what she had to say?
Well, Kathy coming in here is just another extension of our 4th and 1 program. And like I said, it's all about everyone's personal growth and development and moving forward. And where most programs maybe kind of have that as an off-season program, our 4th and 1 program is a year-round program. And it's all about educating our players and really, having diversity of speakers that really speak the same language but maybe have a different delivery, have different backgrounds. The ability to relate to the young men that we have in our program. So that's part of the 4th and 1 program, and we've been trying to bring her in for a while, and just that was the time frame that really worked out for both our schedules.
What did she kind of bring that was unique? I guess what stood out to
A different perspective, maybe a perspective from a female point of view, but also she was able to relate to our players, which was great. And again, just bringing different people in, whether it's, Maurice Claret or Adam Pac-Man Jones or, Adam Ritz, it doesn't matter in terms of it's all about developing our players. And, each individual has a little different twist to their story, and it's all about educating our players. And we've done that since day one. And again, it's just part of the educational process.
Take a few more.
Coach, where do you start when you bring in Preston Williams so late in the fall, week or a little
Yeah.
bit early? Where do you even start to get him ready?
Great question. And to his tribute again, he's worked very hard on his own with his conditioning levels, but you have to make sure that you don't overload him immediately. He is a young man who's had no training camp, and so, no structured conditioning. He's done it all on his own, so he's really been removed from our football team. So we have to make sure that we take it a step-by-step process, that we don't ask too much of him too early, not only from a mental standpoint, but also from a physical standpoint. You can run straight ahead and you can try to manufacture conditioning type scenarios, but the acceleration, the deacceleration, the getting in and out of cuts, the finishing of plays, playing a football style has a wear and tear on its body all to its own. So we just have to be very smart and very creative in how we get him to the game and really give him a package that he can handle and not ask him to do too much.
How close to 100% is he coming off the team?
He's in the mid-90s, and I think once he gets into football condition, he'll be fine. That's the thing. Can he play in an extended drive? Can he play at a high level for 5, 6, 7, 8 plays in a row? We'll know that more today because we'll do a lot of game-type situation practice type stuff today, so we'll know a little bit more when we walk off the field of where he's at.
How much does a quarterback like Josh help a fluid situation at offensive line, somebody that can escape pockets, create plays for the league?
Well, anytime you have a quarterback that can extend plays, whether they're design plays or whether they're instinctful plays, anytime they can extend plays with their legs helps an offense. And I think we saw the value of that last year, and obviously we'll continue to do that. So having Josh there and Quentin is very athletic as well. Quentin can make plays with his legs as well. So when you have those type of players in your offense, that lessens the burden on an offensive line, a group of tight ends and running backs, where you can move the pocket and change launch points. That's critical.
Last one.
About the importance of not just having talent on the defensive line, but depth as well. We faced some teams the last couple of years that boast that. How do you feel about that position for your own team as you went through?
Work in progress. We have made tremendous strides in our overall depth, particularly in the defensive front. Where a team like Bowling Green challenges you is they don't change personnel. So a lot of times you're going to be forced to keep that same defense on the field. So your substitutions are limited. So our players have to have the mindset that they're looking to play 8, 9, 10 plays in a row at a very, very high level of the 63 standard that we expect in our football program. But in terms of the overall depth, It's been great to see, and we do have that. We still need to continue to develop our youngsters, and Shai and Khalil both will play Saturday. How many plays, I don't know. That the game will dictate that, but it just continuing to grow and develop and elevate not only the defensive front, but all 9 position groups.
Butch, how has Derek Barnett carried over his season from last year, really solid season? How has he carried over that success?
Derek's continued to carry it over. Very, very driven, ask a lot of questions. Derek is kind of a quiet young man. He's a quiet competitor. But when he speaks, everybody listens. But the effort that I see in practice, the staying after, working on his hands, working on his reduction of surface, of coming off the ball, his get off, the work ethic is there. In terms of what has gotten him to this point, that has not changed. Matter of fact, he's elevated that.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, have a good day.